thank everyone for being here. Great. That was my presentation right there. I'm done. I'd like to thank the Chamber for the invite. This is my second state of the city, and I'm really honored to be up here. Well, I also want to thank, if you didn't notice, that every city council person that sits up there with me every 2 weeks is here tonight, here this afternoon. Stacy, Josh, David, Kristen, I appreciate it because you all make my job a lot easier so that I can go get Fitbit miles somewhere else. But in other communities, you would not see the entire council supporting each other in an event like this. So we're unique. So what I'm going to talk about, the city. And I realized as I looked out on everybody, guess what? It takes a village to be a city like we are in Edmond. It takes all of us to get to where we are today and where we want to be tomorrow. There's a foundation that was set years ago, and that we all collectively are part of that foundation as we go into the future. And I just want to talk about some things that are going on. You know, I do have to talk about the past, because the past cannot be changed, forgotten, or erased. However, the lessons learned can help us prepare for a brighter future. So let's take a look back. Last year, this year, we had about 10% sales tax revenue growth. That's great. Some communities didn't have that. Edmond did. But on the flip side of that, we're paying about 30% more for a lot of our services and products that we're getting. Same thing that you're experiencing at your home or in your businesses. So guess what? That gives us a challenge that we welcome to improve our community. How are we going to balance getting all these things done? Josh was talking about 3 hours worth of road closures. It's really about 4 hours worth of road closures. Orange is going to be our new color coming up. But that's progress for us. We have a lot of projects going on. Look at this. The council, once again, we're together. Isn't that beautiful? But we have the Kickingbird Golf Course. And, some people love golf, some people hate golf. But let me tell you, it's just like our tennis center. Once it's open, you go to the tennis center because you can do so much there. At our golf center, you can go there. Once it's open, you'll be able to do so much because it's going to be an economic generator. Yes, you're going to be able to play golf, but you're going to be able to hold events. Just like this will be able to be held there. There'll be learning opportunities, networking opportunities. We have the Stevenson Park upgrades, and we have our water infrastructure, but we have so many projects going on. To me, that shows me that our community is growing and we're taking care of the needs of the future. We're addressing them now. A lot of you all take vacations and you go places where the community may or may not be doing that, but the odds are they are. They're looking at how to attract people to the community. That's what we're doing here in Edmond. I know when we moved here, the quality of life, the safety, is one of the reasons why I moved my family here over 33 years ago. And this is over here on the left-hand side is the last graduating police class. That is the most diverse police class that's ever been graduated from the police academy here. That class there is reflective of what our community looks like. Then our fire department, that's the last graduating class of the fire department. The first female firefighter has graduated from our fire department. That is reflective of what our community is looking at. Both of these departments, which are crucial and critical to our infrastructure, are looking to the future. How to recruit the best candidates to bring them here. Unfortunately, we did have a first this year, and I want to take this moment. We lost Sergeant Nelson. It was the first to lose an officer in active duty. But the outpouring that we as a community has given to the family and the different ways that we're using and you are using to heal yourself is reflective of Edmond. And unfortunately, our region, our community has lost too many officers this year. I mean, from Guthrie, now we have the sheriff. It's just too many. But we as a community have loved on each other and loved on those families, and people are watching that, and the families are watching that. So what about today? You know, the past, we had this good foundation. We're bringing in some money. We have all these projects going on. But one of our jobs, and especially on the council, and even as a city manager, education is the passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So today, we must educate the public on current and future infrastructure needs, become creative in those development, design, and actually, how are we going to pay for it? That's critical. How are we going to pay for all of this? So let's look at one of the biggest projects, maybe in my lifetime, in your lifetime, in anyone's lifetime, is what we're doing with our water. We have so many projects going on with our water that are critical to you as a business owner, as a homeowner, as however you interface with the city of Edmond. Because what we're doing here, we have developed a plan to where we are going to become independent of our water needs. Right now, like this past summer, we have to buy water from time to time from Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is not friendly with their rates to us. But we've developed a plan to where with our recovery expansion, we can move our wastewater from 6 million gallons to 12 million gallons that we can process. From our water plant, we can go from 12 million gallons per day up to 30. With some additional expansions, we can go up to 65 million gallons of water that we can pull out of the lake a day. We're looking at all of these projects here to ensure that if you want to build a house, that you have water, that if you're looking at moving your business here, that your facility can have water, and that if you want to water your yard, guess what? There's going to be water there. So these are some of the major projects that we're going on. And we're not only looking at the projects for the future that need to be done. We have pipes that have been in the ground for 50 years. We have to go back and replace those. So it's a head-to-toe type scenario that we're looking at here on how to look at our infrastructure needs. And also one of the things we're doing is our utilities. Did you know that Edmond, we're the 5th largest city in the state, we're the fastest growing city in the state, but we don't have anything like smart meters we're due now because we're installing them. And we're such a data-driven community now that this is going to give you the data that you need to help manage your business or your household. I had a constituent the other day, it was last year actually, and they were talking to me about their water bill. And I said, can I ask you a question? They said, yes. I said, how many kids do you have in your house? They said, I have 3 daughters. And I said, how often do they shower in the summertime? They say all 3 of them shower 3 times a day. And I said, and you're talking, and I said, so when they went off to school, I called the lady back and I said, okay, how's your water bill? She said, my water bill went down. I said, why do you think it? Well, 3 daughters showering 3 times a day, and she was showering at least twice. Something like this with a smart meter will help them understand where their water is going from. Their electricity. How much are they using? How much are you using in your electricity during the day when you're at work? You're keeping your house at 68, and you're keeping the furniture cold. This will allow you that capability there. Some people don't want that. That's fine. And so we will have an opt-out provision for you there. Our street needs. We just had a workshop yesterday on our roads, and we are serious. I mean, I'm not saying this, orange is going to be our new color. We have so many projects in the queue to help facilitate our transportation needs in Edmond. I'm talking about from I-35, Danforth and Kelly, all over Edmond. So what I need from you, or what the council needs from you all is this. Look at our public service announcements that we're going to be putting out. We're going to be communicating to you as often as we can about road closures, about lane closures, about redirects. Because we're going to need for you to do that because we have to put this in. We want you to be able to still travel down these roads, but sometimes it's going to cause some congestions. Please be patient with us. We're doing things. We have so many things. The ITS, that is something that will help. As I said, we're data-driven. The ITS is a technological system that's going to allow us, with some gamers that we have up there, I call them gamers, but they're some people that actually control the signal lights. So if we have a big soccer match at the soccer fields and they're letting out, they can control the lights to get that out. A few years ago, when we had the, fireworks at Kickingbird, and we had and all that, they were able to control lights to help Kickingbird exit. So we have street projects. We have a ton of street projects on the way. We're keeping you informed on our new website. All of these things are being listed, and they're updated monthly for you all. We have capital projects going on. Now, this is just a rendering of what our city hall may look like downtown. This is not the actual, this is an old drawing. But people say, well, why are you creating a city hall downtown? Well, there's synergy there. A lot of you all have worked in office or still work in offices. There's a lot of synergy when you bring various departments together. That information that is shared at the water cooler or the coffee pot when somebody's brought in a dozen donuts and you sit there and you talk, you have offices interfacing with each other. Well, that's what can happen when we bring all of those departments downtown and put them into one building. The building's going to house the city council, it's going to house the juvenile court, and they increase the level of safety for everyone that's in there. Right now, our offices are just open. But also what it does is that the city will eventually divest itself of the other property that we have downtown, and then those can be repurposed, bought by someone for additional economic generation in the downtown area. I know David Chapman doesn't want anything else built downtown, but that's what will happen when we can release 4 or 5 different buildings there. And then some of the other things that we're talking from a capital project, one of our biggest assets that we've done here in Edmond is our partnerships with other entities. And our next big one coming up is with the library system and the YMCA. We will be building that new Y library east of I-35. That's going to allow us to service the community from the east side of town. And then you're going to see programming there where you might think the library should be providing it, but the Y is going to provide it. Or you thought the Y is going to provide it, the library. Those two organizations are working together to cross-feed off of each other to fill the needs of our growing and expanding community. Public safety. Our police and fire, they're thinking of the future. We saw the previous classes. They have new classes coming up for the personnel that are coming up. But even for a new Fire Station 6 is going out in North Kelly by Kelly Lakes Pass. We have already given authorization for the fire department to order the trucks for this station, and the building, the fire station, is not even designed yet. Why? It's because of the supply chain is so long now for fire trucks that we're ordering before the building's ready. And I'm sure you all as business people are experiencing those same things. So we're already looking for that. And then this over here on the right is a police academy that was held with kids it's held over Boulevard. And I happened to participate with it. But this is where the community came to the police department and said, hey, could you help us with some kids we have? Get them exposed to the police department, the things that they do. Get them improve some of their leadership skills, some of their own personal, internal skills that they had. And so the police department created this program based on communication they had with our citizens. You don't have that in a lot other communities, but you have it here in Edmond. We're very fortunate for that. And so public safety, 5th largest city, we're growing. Our crime per 1,000, about 17%. Yes, we do have our share of it, but guess what? It is not as large as it is in other communities. That is another one of the foundations of why you want to bring your businesses here. There's also another foundation why you want to live here. The ISO for the fire. People are like, what's that? Well, the fire department has spent an extensive study that for us, the ISO is how your insurance company calculates your rate. They looked at how close are the fire hydrants to the houses and to the businesses. There's only so many, I can't remember, I had a number, but I can't remember how many there are ISO rated cities in the country, but it's not that many. We're one of them now. And so when businesses are looking to move here, they see that, and that's an asset for us. But that is something that the police and fire are doing, investing, and we at the council are helping them invest in our community so that we can get ratings like this to make things easier for you and us to live and work here. Our parks. Oh, how many of y'all like going to our parks? How many of y'all think we need more parks? Yes. And that's what we're looking at. How can we acquire some more land? If any of y'all want to give us some land for parks, you can talk to the city manager over here. He'll take care of that. But we're looking at, we've had some parks here for a while. Arcadia. What else can we do out there? So we have a master plan now. We have citizens involved. What can we bring to Arcadia Lake to help it be more than what it is today? Is there a potential revenue generator out there? Is there more potential recreational activities out there? Stevenson Park. Yes, Stevenson Park has taken a while to get moving and all that, but all the things that are going, some of the things that are happening at Stevenson Park you won't even see, like the regional detention that's going to be underneath the park that's going to help that entire area. And yes, some of y'all heard rumors that the rocket slide is going away. It's not. It won't be usable, but the rocket slide is staying. That is a namesake of our community, and it is staying. Then we're also looking at Mitch Park. When Mitch Park was first put in place, it was designed to be a passive park. But as we continue to grow, we need to look at it differently now. Is there some changes or enhancements we have to do there? And then we're also looking at in our other areas of parks that we have that we haven't given them the love and care. What can we do to help enhance that? So we're going to use some of our ARPA dollars to go in there and help refurbish those parks. And then just lastly, the Land Conservancy Trust, how can we expand their responsibility in our community? We've turned over the 22 acres of land that's over here on Spring Creek, and we're also looking for other opportunities. One of the things that we love about Edmond is our trees are in our open green space. How can the Conservancy Trust help us keep those treasures open and viable and useful for the entire community? So what's going to go on in the future? I remember looking at a sign you remember in the old days when they had the sign was Uncle Sam and saying, "We need you"? That's what I needed right here is that sign. That's what we're going to need in the future. We're going to need you all to help us in the future, more than you're helping us now. Because we have this community here that people want to move to. We have a community here that people want to move here or visit for tourism opportunities. We have people here that want to spend money here. How do we increase that? How do we take care of them? The tourists, I love them to come in, get out of your car, stay in our hotels for a few days, get back in the car, go home. So look at our infrastructure. We have continued to grow. By the census, we're like at 93, 94,000. We continue to grow. People are continuing building houses here. What does that do to us as a community? That puts a tremendous demand on every asset we have. From our power grid, it is getting taxed because we're building more. Our traffic demand, it is getting taxed because as people move here, we don't drive small cars, and everyone has a car. The water demand, from just the consumption here at an event like this to what we're doing at our local house, we have a lot. And then our housing demand. All of that's going on. And so we have to put things in place. We have to look at different ways of transportation. I was at a school the other day. There were 30 bikes out there because the community had trails to the school. We have to start looking at alternate ways of transportation. Then also, as we continue to grow, we also have to look at our behavioral health or mental state. And what we did as a city, we joined with NorthCare to do a mental health assessment, and we brought in all of our key partners from the schools, from the police and fire, to other healthcare, mental care affiliates, to regular citizens. What do we need to do to address this? The word mental health has such a negative connotation. The question is, how do you change that negative connotation and help everybody? And so we have a task force out there. If you don't, this building right here is the building that NorthCare has bought, and we as a city are helping them facilitate, renovate it, so that we can have additional assets and services here in our community. When you think of Edmond now, I want you to think of tourism, because we have so much to bring. We're becoming that destination spot. We have murals. We have bronze statues. We have over 300 pieces of art in our community. And this is growing. It's going to continue to grow. Sports, we have the youth sports in our community is off the chart. I was kidding Mayor Holt the other day, and I said, you know, when we had the Tokyo Olympics, do you know how many people that we had from Edmond that were over there? We had a bunch. I said, how many were from Oklahoma City? You know, but that's because of our youth sports here, and it's a growing commodity. Our tennis center, if you've never been over there, this is the best tennis center in the region. And this is with a partnership that we did with the school system. Let me repeat that. This is the best tennis center in the region. We beat out Texas, we beat out Missouri, all these places. You need to check it out. In downtown, we have so many activities going on downtown, and it's growing. People are coming up from Midtown and downtown Oklahoma City. They're coming here now to enjoy the things that we're doing. So the question is, how do we continue that? How do we continue to grow that? And how do we look at it from a tourism way of life? How does we continue to grow that? Our partnerships, and we can't do a lot of this without the various partnerships that we have. And we're continually looking for our partnership. And what you'll see up there is a lot of it's with our educational community. We have partnerships with our legislative community that's downtown. How do we need to apply for different types of funding that might be coming from the legislator? And even our congressional up in Washington, we have started communications with them now. Is there anything that you can do to put money in a bill or a program in the bill that can come and benefit Edmond? We're starting to have that type of communication, that type of conversation, because it's, as I said, it's a village. And we need to be able to look at every opportunity to bring in resources and smart people to help us get to where we need to be. I think each and every one of these partnerships that we have, and we have others that are not listed here. So we have to work together. As I said, we're a village. I need you, the council needs you, Scott Rigby needs you. We need your help. We have to do this. We can't do this alone. You can't do it in isolation, and we can't do it in isolation. So what's going on? How can you help? It might not be you personally. You might talking to one of your friends. I went out and voted today. Did you go out and vote? You know, we have various boards and commissions out there that you can get involved with, that you don't have to sit up and be on that high-paying city council job. But you could be on a board and commission and do it for free. But you could still be involved with some of the decisions that are being made. You can join Leadership Edmond and get a thorough understanding of how the city works. There's volunteer opportunities. When you look at something like this, that is Heard Unheard. It's more than food trucks coming down. You look at Vibes, it's just more than people putting up signs. There's a lot of activities where you can volunteer and become involved and also talk to the communities. Stay up to date with what's going on. We are making our website so interactive now that we want that to be the source for you to go get your information. Yes, I know I have 3 different degrees that I got off Facebook. We're not worried about that. But what I want you to do is go to our website and get information. If not, we'll have the number there to call at a city office to get the right information. Go to the events, shop, talk to your neighbors. Yes, Josh is right. I am out and about. But half the time I'm speaking to people that don't even live here. I said, what are you doing here? I moved here from somewhere. Why did you move here? Schools, safety. One of the top 3 reasons they moved here. Family, grandkids. Well, we have to keep that going for people to want to continue to move here. We need that cycle to continue. But I need you all. We need you all. You have investments here. You either live here, you work here, you have business here. But go into your circle of influence to help them get involved too. That at the end of the day, everyone should have one. If you lived here long enough, everyone should have one of these signs on their lapel that they went out and voted. Or there's something else going on in town that you all could be involved with. Can we take a pledge that you're going to look at that you're going to look at yourself in the mirror? What else can I do to help the community that we love get better? So that's it. Our city's growing. It's going to continue to grow. It takes a village. We're all ears if you have suggestions. But that's what I wanted to present to you today.